graduated from Wesleyan in the class of 2020. I was a double major in French studies and government with a concentration in political theory. At Wesleyan, I studied abroad in Paris, France at Sciences Po Paris. And upon graduating, I decided to participate in a program called TAPIF, which is the Teaching Assistant Program in France. And it's run by the US Embassy. I'm currently in France. I live in Reims, France, and I teach English at a middle school and a high school. I think that pursuing postgraduate opportunities abroad is a really excellent decision for Wesleyan students because it allows you both to expand your worldview, but also to apply the skills and tools that you learn during your 4 years at Wesleyan to be a critical thinker and also an engaged community member. For me personally, I have loved this experience because it's both given me time to look inward and really reflect on my long-term career goals, as well as to meet people from all over the world who are also teaching assistants or teachers living here in France that share the common belief in the importance of international exchange and language learning. So definitely take advantage of the opportunities that Wesleyan provides you both on campus but also in the world. Roll cards.
Hi, my name is Idia Irele, and I graduated in class of 2016, and I majored in government and concentrated in international relations. Since graduating, I have lived in Andorra, Spain, Mexico, and I currently live in Medellin, Colombia, where I've been for more or less the past 2 years. My journey, studying and working abroad started with a gap year between high school and college, actually. So before going to Smith, I lived in Bilbao, Spain through just a work abroad program called Instituto Hemingway in Bilbao. And I just fell in love with the country and fell in love with the culture and really decided that I wanted to go back to study abroad there for a whole year, which I did through Smith. I did the Tufts Skidmore in Madrid program through Smith and was also awarded the Anita Boltzwein Fellowship so that I not only spent the academic year, my junior year studying abroad in Spain, but then I also did an internship in Spain the following summer. Those experiences were really instrumental in shaping my career and shaping my worldview. I went on to do a Fulbright in Andorra after graduating from Smith, and I recently was awarded the Rangel Fellowship for International Affairs, which means that in a few years I'm going to be working for the U.S. State Department as a Foreign Service Officer, just a diplomat. I can't even put to words how much Smith's international experiences have played a role in getting me to where I am today. I'm so grateful for the Office for International Studies specifically, where I actually worked as a senior. I'm really grateful for Lisa Johnson and the whole team and how much they work to support all Smithies, regardless of background and financial capacity, to work, live, experience life abroad. It really has been one of the defining factors for me in my professional career and in my social life, my friendships as well. Smith is an incredibly lucky place. You guys are incredibly lucky to have the opportunity to study there and to take advantage of all of the incredible activities that Smith has to offer. And I look forward to seeing you either in the US or on this side of the world. Feel free to send me an email if you're ever in Colombia, if you ever want any advice on living in Latin America, on living in Spain, or you just want to chat with someone about how much you love studying abroad and learning abroad and being abroad. So thank you, Smith, for all of that, and good luck to all of you with all of your journeys.
Hi, everyone. My name is Emma Rose Rodrigue. I am a Smithie, class of 2016. I graduated with my Bachelor of Art in Art History, Conservation, and Criticism. And I currently work in the cannabis space, doing social media for a company right here in Western Massachusetts. So my background is in social media. I spent 2.5 years working in social media and digital marketing when I graduated Smith in 2016. And then I took a crazy leap of faith and I moved to Tokyo, Japan, and I studied Japanese language for a year. So if you're familiar at all with Tokyo, I was in Shibuya which is where that famous crosswalk is, where millions of people cross a day. So you can imagine it was a very vibrant, very colorful, very fun place to be. And I studied Japanese language. I met incredible teachers. I now have friends from around the world that I met through that program. And it was a really special time, and I wouldn't change it for anything. So the reason I studied abroad post-graduation was I was a transfer student to Smith. So I transferred in my junior year, and I really wanted to focus on getting to know Smith, immersing myself in the culture, meeting people, making friends, all of that. So I chose to stay on campus for my 2 years and pursue international study afterwards. And I can tell you that it's completely possible, and it's really fun. And although it may seem daunting and scary, and there's a lot of different things you have to figure out, definitely, it's fun and rewarding. And I hope if you get the opportunity to study internationally post-graduation that you take it. And I wish you the best of luck. I know you'll do great things. Bye-bye now.
So my name is Constance Holden. I graduated in 2015 from Amherst College, and my degree is in Spanish. That was probably the biggest takeaway. It also kind of showed me that I wanted to work in education, working with an educational B Corporation startup. It was really new, probably about 10 years old at the time. I learned a lot about what it takes to build a business, but also to build an academic business, and also what it means to teach through that, and to engage with others, and to build a professional community, build friendships, both academic and personally through that environment. And so for me, that showed me the real importance of networking and building relationships, and then also the importance of knowing who you are and what kind of professional you want to be, what kind of person you want to be in the world. And through my experience in Chile, I really learned that kind of balance of compassion, empathy, and authenticity in the workplace and in my personal life.
Hi everyone, my name is Julie. I graduated from Vassar in 2019 and studied STS, Science, Technology, and Society, with a focus on sociology. And I spent my year postgrad on the Thomas J. Watson Foundation Fellowship, which is a really wonderful independent exploratory fellowship abroad. And I spent time in Guatemala, Mexico, Brazil, Uganda, and Aotearoa, or New Zealand, studying cultural traditions of pregnancy, birth, and postpartum. It was the most fantastic experience of my life, just being able to be in a different cultural context and study something that was incredibly important to me. And it's an experience that I'll definitely keep with me for a lifetime, and showed me that I'll be continuing this kind of global work, because it's just so incredible to have such a widespread network and learn from something outside of my own cultural context. So if you have the opportunity, I would definitely recommend it, and I'm more than happy to talk to anybody who has any questions or wants to just chat about what it might look like. So good luck.
Hi everyone, my name is Michaela Copeland. I graduated from Vassar College in 2018, where I majored in international studies. And for me, going abroad for graduate school was always a no-brainer. I study international relations, I study conflict and peace building, and these are fields that it can be very dangerous to have a Western-centric perspective, to only focus on kind of US problems and solutions. So I knew that going abroad to study, to travel, to work would help me kind of step outside of that paradigm. And to that end, I applied for as many fellowships as I could to make that happen. I ended up getting the Marshall Scholarship to study in the United Kingdom, where I've just finished my Master's in International Relations at Oxford, and I've decided to stay on and do a doctorate. My biggest advice would be to kind of cast a wide net. The marginal cost of another application diminishes, and so just kind of throw your hat in the ring for as many things as you can and see what comes back. Good luck.
Hi, I'm Hannah. I graduated from Wellesley College in 2020, where I was a biochemistry major, And while I was there, I studied at the University of Oxford for a year in a pre-medical program where I took things from bioenergetics to medical ethics. During that time, I was involved in a research project that led to a PhD opportunity for me in infectious disease at Oxford, and that's what I'm doing now. If I hadn't studied abroad, I never would have had the opportunity for this PhD. And I think that doing a PhD internationally really promotes more growth than even during the study abroad period, because you're here for a longer period of time and the work is much more rigorous. The experiences that I've had since starting this PhD program abroad have really changed the course of my life and what I saw myself doing. Doors open for me that I never would have expected. And so I'd really, really recommend looking into what sort of opportunities might be available for you to do some sort of post-grad work abroad.
Hello, my name is Christina Adler. I'm a graduate at Mount Holyoke College. At Mount Holyoke, I studied neuroscience and behavior, and I graduated in 2018. While I was there, I decided to study abroad at the University of Otago in Dunedin, New Zealand. And 6 months later, I came back and decided I hadn't had enough of New Zealand, so I decided to do a research internship over my summer of my junior year at the University of Wellington in Wellington, New Zealand, the capital. And fast forward to now, 2021, I am living in Wellington, New Zealand, and have been for the past year. Why do I think pursuing postgrad opportunities abroad are so important? I think for me personally, one of the most important things is the ability to customize how much time you spend in another country. So when you're studying abroad, you're sort of limited to either a semester or maybe a year abroad, which is really incredible and really impacted me deeply doing 6 months abroad. And then maybe you throw in an internship somewhere else, but having the ability to graduate from college and live somewhere for a year, 2 years, 3 years, 10 years, I think just adds more value onto that experience. When I came back from study abroad, I thought I had absorbed so much of the country, but now that I've been here for another year, I see how almost shallow that experience was. Incredible in its own way, but the longer I'm here, the more I'm understanding about the way things are done and the culture of New Zealand, and I just feel like more acclimated to living here. And it's only just been a year. I know that there's more to come. The second reason, I think, again, is a very personal reason, but when I moved here, I had just left a job working in a hospital in New Haven, Connecticut, which was an incredible experience. But when I moved here, I was sort of deciding whether I wanted to do medicine, and I was sort of in the headspace of it's not something for me, just because of my experience with the American healthcare system. Just a lot of things didn't sit right. But having moved to New Zealand and seeing how things can be done differently in the healthcare system has instilled the confidence in me to pursue a medical degree abroad. So I think just having that ability to see the way that people study things differently in another country could even inspire you to do something that maybe you thought just wasn't the right fit for you. And how has it impacted me? I mean, I think the real question is, how has it not? I'm living here now, something I would never have thought in a million years when I first started college. And it's been an incredible experience that I know will just last a lifetime. Thank you.